Why was the gold digger guru so popular a few years ago? It was during the tail end of an economic boom, creating a lot of wealthy people and a lot of wealthy men. This created a batch of women who are just there to make money off them. Why is this path not working as well now? Because many men are broke. There's a phrase, men's money is for women to look at, not for them to spend.
Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again, and today we are taking a look at China banning filters for female streamers, or let's be honest, streamers in general, but women are the ones using them. Don't forget to drop a comment, make sure you subscribe if you're new here, and let's jump into it.
A beauty streamer was live online when suddenly her beauty filter vanished, turning her into a middle-aged woman. Thousands of fans in the chat went crazy. How do beauty streamers change their round faces into an oval shape and instantly look like goddesses? Some viewers shared a tutorial before the stream began. As soon as the lights and beauty filter were turned on, fans were left stunned.
It is insane how the age of catfishing went from too much makeup to too many filters.
Getting ready to start the stream. Step 1. Turn on our main light and our face light. Next, we adjust the face shape to ensure our makeup stays in place. We'll fix our face shape and turn our round face into an oval one. Now, turn on the second light, the pink chin light. The next step is to give the stream a more high-end feel, so we turn on the light above our heads. Here's the prep for beauty streamers. First, to enhance and create the perfect face for the camera. Step 2, add a stylish makeup look. Step 3, turn on the pink chin light. Step 4, turn on the top light. And now we're ready to go live, looking gorgeous.
What makes this worse is how effective these streamers are at conning men out of money, by the way. This seems to be like a whole industry.
A viewer commented, "I strongly urge a ban on beauty filters. They all really think they look like that. You can use beauty filters, but not to deceive yourself." Someone else joked, "No wonder those streamers who push the limits aren't afraid of their relatives recognizing them. Turns out their relatives can't recognize them." Another person commented, "With beauty filters these days, even a 200-pound guy with dirty feet can look like a super pretty woman."
It wouldn't be surprising if a 200-pound, just heinous-looking man is secretly a beauty streamer at this point.
The Chinese Entertainment Industry Association recently issued a no makeup order, calling for reform in the online group streaming industry. These beauty streamers, who once captivated many, have now seen their illusions shattered. The report sparked heated discussions online. The recently released online performance agency operations service requirements clearly state that group streams must not use heavy makeup, must not induce consumer spending, and must avoid ranking comparisons.
If the government has to get involved in this, then you know it has probably gotten well out of hand.
In addition to using lighting for beauty filters, the group streaming industry also uses technology to modify the host's body shapes. One viewer shared a comparison video showing the difference before and after adjusting the beauty filters. It's obvious that after the adjustments, the streamer's legs look longer, her body proportions are more flattering, and her skin looks fairer and more radiant, like she's been transformed into a completely different person. Despite the post-production adjustments like longer legs and smoother skin, streamers also use exaggerated makeup at the start to cater to the viewer's aesthetic preferences.
These filters look incredibly unnatural, like something you would just see out of a horror movie.
This deliberate emphasis on appearance and stage effects is exactly what the new regulations aim to regulate. As soon as the regulations were released, it sparked intense discussions and complaints from viewers. The Chinese government's no makeup order is, on the surface, a restraint on the misuse of technology. But it's much more than just an industry issue. It's another attempt by the authorities to intervene in the way people's bodies and appearances are presented.
This kind of behavior really does help to warp the minds of the world around them.
By defining how things can be shown and how beautiful things can be, they are gradually reshaping the public's perception of what is considered normal, real, and acceptable. So, banning excessive beauty filters isn't just an aesthetic correction, but part of a broader control over what is considered real. This is not a real effort to purify the industry. It feels more like the Chinese government's typical moral hypocrisy and selective enforcement. For years, there have been issues in the streaming industry, like vulgar content, emotional manipulation, and the addiction of minors.
It is insane how China has so many of these homeless streamer camps absolutely everywhere.
The authorities have either ignored or tacitly allowed them to continue. The reason is simple. This model stimulates consumption, generates traffic, creates profit for platforms and agencies, and to some extent diverts social tensions, allowing lower-class men to numb themselves with virtual companionship and emotional illusions. One news report tells the story of a 60-year-old man who spent over 60,000 yuan in just 8 days, becoming the top spender for a female streamer.
To put that in perspective, that's over $8,500 American, by the way, in 1 week.
I spent less than 20 yuan for the first time. Then after the stream, she talked to me, saying after the show she'd remove her clothes. I became the top spender, and if I didn't send her more gifts, I'd be letting her down. I'm the only top spender. No one else is. I've already spent 6 or 7,000.
In Zhoukou, Henan province, a 62-year-old farmer spent his entire life savings to become the top spender. After putting in 500,000 yuan, he took out a loan of 100,000 yuan to keep gifting to the female streamer.
You can do so much with money like that, it's not worth wasting on a streamer like that.
My dad spent 50-something thousand yuan in just 3 months, all the money he saved with my mom. She never checked his phone, never saw the phone bills. It took 50 seconds to go through the phone bill, and the balance kept dropping, 1,000, 2,000 yuan at a time. When I found out about the 50,000 yuan, it felt like the sky was falling. He told the streamer he ran out of money and couldn't send gifts anymore. Then he took out a loan for 100,000 yuan. My sisters and I felt so bad for Mom.
This kind of debt is absolutely catastrophic and it destroys lives straight up.
Another lawyer shared a case where his client was scammed by a female streamer. At least 3 or 4 people have come to consult me, all tricked into sending gifts to female streamers. One of them lost over 800,000 yuan. One fan was contacted by a female streamer who said she wanted to date him. After establishing a romantic relationship, the man sent her over 300,000 yuan in gifts over the course of a year. But they had only met 4 times and never even held hands. The woman kept telling him that if he ever loved her, he had to prove it by sending money.
That level of manipulation is absolutely disturbing and it is so easily avoidable.
He believed her, and over the year, he sent her over 300,000 yuan. Later, he found out that she was dating 4 other men, and he was ranked 4th in line. Each man had to send her 100 to 200,000 yuan. These cases of spending money in streams leading to broken families and ruined lives are far from rare. The top spenders in these streams are addicted to the carefully packaged beauty and emotional illusions, exchanging temporary psychological satisfaction for a heavy cost, depleted savings, fractured family relationships, and even long-term psychological scars.
And the sad part is, the streamers don't actually care about the damage they do whatsoever. They already got paid, so it doesn't actually matter to them.
Meanwhile, the female streamers, who view making money as their primary goal, have become the default fast money model in the streaming industry. They monetize through emotional suggestions and the illusion of relationships. The distorted ecosystem has lacked genuine regulation for a long time. In the comment section, some viewers even revealed that the first lesson at certain streamer companies is to clearly tell the streamers not to accept gifts privately, because private transfers might lead to legal actions or lawsuits to recover the money.
These kinds of stories just attract more women to stream so they can make bank through lying.
However, as long as the gifts go through the platform, the money gets divided between the platform and the agency, making it legally legitimate and impossible to be refunded. This blatant risk avoidance logic shows that the problem is not individual misconduct, but rather a system that is deliberately designed and encouraged. When the overall economy weakens and upward mobility narrows, the illusion of making quick money through streaming becomes even more exaggerated.
This shouldn't even be a realistic career option for women. It's actually far too destructive, but of course they will do it anyway.
The higher the uncertainty in reality, the more alluring the illusion of rapid success. Have you noticed that while everyone talks about the economy being bad, there's one industry, the entertainment industry, that's actually booming? You'll find that among the female streamers, there are more and more university students. You've studied hard for years, only to earn 5,000 yuan, while those who dropped out early to become streamers can make $1 million a year. You're definitely tempted. Statistics show that over 500,000 university students are now regularly streaming.
500,000 college students dropping out to become streamers sounds absolutely absurd to me.
Behind this booming entertainment industry is a new type of exploitation of young people. When the economy is down, jobs are hard to find, incomes are lower, and debt is high. Most people are in a state of confusion and anxiety. In this social environment, beauty has been separated from time, discipline, and cultivation, and now is instantly generated by technology. The intrinsic logic of aesthetics has fundamentally shifted. The gold digger phenomenon is a concentrated presentation of this shift in the real world.
Gold digging used to be shamed, now it's celebrated as a viable career option. Let that sink in for a second.
When relationships are simplified to cost-benefit calculations and emotions are quantified into investment and return, beauty no longer represents personal growth and long-term value. It becomes a tool for short-term exchange. Against this backdrop, some commentators have pointed out that the Chinese government's recent tightening of control is not driven by a genuine concern for integrity or moral order, but more likely as a reaction to changes in the flow of funds.
At the end of the day, all it's about is revenue and how they can get a hold of it. The rest of it doesn't particularly matter.
Faced with the pressure of the real estate crisis and weak consumer demand, the authorities are eager to redirect idle social funds into the so-called real economy, or directly bring them under control through fines and regulations. In contrast, live streaming rewards, which represent a flow of funds from the real to the virtual, are difficult to regulate and cannot be easily transformed into a stable tax source. That's why some viewers said, they're regulating so much, but in the end, it's because the money isn't going into their pockets.
It's easy to disguise outright corruption with trying to make it look like a moral argument.
This profit-driven logic is not limited to live streaming or social platforms. It has already seeped into broader relationships and family structures. A viewer shared a video claiming that dowries have now increased tenfold compared to 10 years ago.
我都不敢相信，现在彩礼已经离谱到了这种地步。
Now the dowry has reached such an outrageous point. The other day, my mom went to a relative's wedding, and the dowry was 250,000 yuan.
Marriage is expensive enough, especially for men, without demanding $36,000 on top of it.
Another couple about to get married asked for over 300,000 yuan, and that's not even including the 3 gold items. In 10 years, the dowry amount has increased tenfold compared to my time.
上海老女剃下头来了，现在上海的男的对老女已经腻了。
In Shanghai, the gold digger phenomenon has collapsed. Now, men in Shanghai are immune to it. How aware are the men coming up to matchmaking? As soon as you bring up the dowry, they stop talking. If you mention adding their name to the house or car, they turn and walk away.
All over the world, men are sick and tired of being used by women who don't respect them at all.
Some men even say that now they won't even spend money on a cup of milk tea or a meal for a gold digger. When it comes to matchmaking, they insist on splitting the bill. If the woman doesn't agree, they give up. If she subtly hints at gifts or bags after knowing each other for a few days, he'll immediately block her because he doesn't know what's waiting for him next. Discussions online about the skyrocketing dowries and the materialization of marriage reflect this shift. On the one hand, people complain about the sharp rise in marriage costs. On the other hand, more and more men are becoming wary of a one-sided, exploitative relationship.
That's because men are aware of a lot of modern women's plans to exploit them. It's actually become so common at this point that so many guys are being forced to wake up.
This isn't a sudden moral awakening, but rather the old model failing.
2026年的基本现状就是捞女根本就搞不到钱了啊。
The reality in 2026 is that gold diggers can't get money anymore. If you look at those girls who used to seek men's money, can they still get money now? Unless they lower their standards to the extreme, only then will men be willing to spend a little money on them.
It is impossible for women like that to lower their standards. They have to live with their choice.
So I have a lot of these gold diggers around me, and they privately consult me, and they're all starting to panic. It's simple. They no longer have an income source, which proves that the big spenders are now few.
为什么曲在前几年
Why was the gold digger guru so popular a few years ago? It was during the tail end of an economic boom, creating a lot of wealthy people and a lot of wealthy men. This created a batch of women who are just there to make money off them. Why is this path not working as well now? Because many men are broke. There's a phrase, men's money is for women to look at, not for them to spend.
Men are done with wasting their money. If that's what she's after, she can go and get herself a job.
These words are now better understood by men than by many women. Among the very rich single men I know, these words are something they say every day. Economic downturn does not mean the end of gold diggers. It just means that when the desire logic driven by technology can no longer function, the hollow values behind it begin to show. The real issue that needs reflection is not the behavior of individuals, but whether society can still provide a path of value recognition that does not rely on appearance, money, or immediate returns.
There is no turning this around. The manipulation of these women was far too strong.
The chaos in China's live streaming industry today is a direct result of moral decay. For the sake of tips, streamers shamelessly flaunt their charm, create dynamic storylines, and even engage in verbal abuse. Under the Chinese Communist Party's materialistic indoctrination, many young people believe in the saying, "Laugh at the poor, but don't laugh at prostitutes." As long as they can become famous and make money, they are willing to sacrifice their dignity.
That's the way it is all over the world. All you have to do is just look at OF to see that.
This social deviation is a violent desecration of traditional Chinese beauty standards. Looking back at China's 5,000 years of traditional culture, the ancient understanding of beauty was never superficial. Traditional culture believes that a person's appearance reflects their inner state. Nobility and spirituality come from self-discipline, public service, and respecting the natural order, not from filters or even makeup. Traditional culture emphasizes the beauty of harmony, focusing on authenticity.
I think the internet has really done a number on, traditional cultures or otherwise traditional cultures. It has practically destroyed them.
If a person's heart is filled with greed for money, no matter how much they enhance their beauty, it cannot hide the muddiness in their eyes. The gold digger phenomenon among female streamers is not just a sudden moral downfall, but is closely related to long-term economic pressures. When job opportunities shrink, income growth stagnates, and social mobility declines. More and more young people find that achieving a decent life through conventional labor is becoming increasingly difficult. Under these conditions, quick money, shortcuts, and high-return fantasies naturally become attractive options.
What they don't realize is that those shortcuts come with lifelong consequences, by the way.
The live streaming industry expanded rapidly in this environment. It features low entry barriers, high exposure, and immediate rewards. It seems like a viable survival path, especially to young women. As long as you're seen, receive gifts, and gain popularity, you can bypass the long and uncertain process of effort. In the end, the gold digger phenomenon cannot be solved by a few regulations. The real solution is not in controlling faces, filters, or appearances, but in rebuilding value judgments.
Just because something is illegal doesn't mean that actually people will stop doing it. A lot of people will continue to do it anyway.
Allowing labor and self-cultivation to regain respect, restoring moderation and responsibility, and returning beauty to an inner and outer order. When people can no longer rely on illusions, the false prosperity will fade, and real life can begin anew.
The problem is that the internet has created this massive explosion in delusion at the same time. Make sure you click on one of the videos on screen now to watch more if you liked today's video. Don't forget to take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.